Hello, I'm Yvonne, and welcome to having you on. It's time for another edition of In the Crib, and today's topic is Reborn artists' reputation, as well as reborn artists that sell counterfeit sculpts. And I'm going to get into it. You're going to be looking at a bunch of blank sculpts or kits, and none of these are counterfeit. I will not buy counterfeit. It's a hobby. It's a wonderful hobby. It's sort of an expensive hobby, and that's why I wanted to discuss what I wanted to discuss today. To start off, I want to talk about reborn artist reputation. And of course, you know what a reborn artist is. They are the ones that paint the kits, the sculpts, and bring them to life, either silicone or vinyl, but you can't ever have both. You understand that there is no such thing as a vinyl silicone. They're completely two different materials, but that's a whole different topic. So it all starts with the purchase of a reborn. The buying experience, the purchase experience is forever connected to that reborn. What I mean is every time you pass by, every time you hold that particular reborn, every time you dress that reborn, you'll always remember that positive experience of you first seeing it and the interaction you've had with the artist, and that it arrived safely and everything was wonderful and you're so happy, and that is the ideal situation. Reputation is everything, and when you find out that a reborn artist may have some skeletons in the closet that they stuffed in there themselves, ones that really create their own drama behind the scenes that they don't think that anybody's going to find out about it. And then let's say you already have a reborn that you purchased from this particular artist or any artist. They may have a questionable reputation from behind the scenes of how they treat people. They may have particular views that you don't agree with, that you don't find that would rub you the wrong way, because you wouldn't treat people that way. Do you understand what I mean? So it comes to you through different sources. You find out that this particular artist that you have a reborn from, that is not a good person from behind the scenes. I'm not talking about their quality of work. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about that they create this drama that's attached to them, has nothing to do with the art form, has nothing to do with reborns really, has more to do with personal attacks against people that you were surprised to find out that they would have personal attacks against anyone, let alone even if they would have that kind of behavior, that immature behavior, unchecked behavior. I have more to discuss. Come along. And an artist that brings drama or stirs up dramas, creates drama, I'm talking about separate from their own personal life. That's completely out of their control. That kind of thing happens. It just, comes up, that kind of thing. I'm not talking about that kind of drama. I'm talking about drama that they throw themselves into, that they want to be part of, that they create themselves. And they think that nobody will find out. I happen to find out that I had a reborn in my collection that's attached to a person that enjoys drama, enjoys hurting people. No, that's not staying, because forever, every time I look at that reborn, I'll think about that artist that's doing things to people that aren't nice. And I won't have anything to do with what they create, because I don't agree with how they treat people or their viewpoint. I don't agree. I don't think that's right. You shouldn't treat people that way, and I won't treat people that way, and I won't have reborn with that kind of drama attached, because it's tainted. It's forever tainted. And there are many, many wonderfully talented artists that are in the community that are extremely talented, or they're up and coming and they are learning and they are kind people, and all they want is to make people happy with what they've created, and they enjoy the creative process. And that's what it's about, right? It's supposed to be that part. But of course there are artists that have that are temperamental, because artists are moody They may not feel like painting that day. Okay, that's different kind of drama. That is their own personal kind of how they feel. That's completely different than what I'm talking about. I'm talking about someone that intentionally is mean to other people, even though they think that nobody's going to find out. Wow, and just dirtying up their reputation, because there are talented people out in the community that are up and coming or extremely established reborn artists that want nothing more than stand behind their work and stand behind the kind of person that they are. They know the difference between good and bad, and they always will do good. They make a choice which path they're going to go, and they're going to choose the one that is kind to other people. Moving on to those reborn artists that knowingly will buy, I'm not talking about an accident, I'm talking about knowingly will buy counterfeit sculpts out of greed because they want to get more money for what they're going to have in the end of selling it to an unknown purchaser of what they're getting. They might think that they're getting a real sculpt that was either purchased from the different sculpt companies that we have them in different countries, and you're aware of them. But one particular country we know that only steals sculpts that are made by sculpt artists, and they think that they're getting a deal and that it's the real thing, but it's not the real thing. It's not the same quality, it's not the same mixture of the formula for the vinyl, and they may end up buying something that would be poisonous. They could be poisoning themselves by baking them in the oven, in their ovens, whatever they may use. I hope they're not using their family oven where the chemicals are being released and the whole thing is unhealthy for everyone on the planet. They are doing this out of greed because they will pass these counterfeit sculpts off as the real thing to try to make more of a profit. This poor unexpected purchaser of that reborn, they think they might be getting a really good deal, but it's not, because it's not the real thing. It's not the real sculpt. Someone came forward, I'm not going to give them credit, came forward, and I guess they're trying to legitimize what they're doing as being okay, like they were given permission to do so because somebody else did it. I'm talking about the fact that this particular country is making these counterfeit sculpts, so it gives them permission. No, and that they were trying to dictate the law when they do not have a law degree, they have not passed the bar, they don't know anything. Some people who choose to argue a point and then they don't have anything to back themselves up. Some of these wonderful sculpt artists have posted their sculpts next to counterfeits, and you can plainly see what is real and what isn't. And the vinyl isn't the same, and you're just not getting the quality at all. And you're being ripped off. You're being ripped off. And the sculpt artist is being ripped off big time, big time. And I think that these unscrupulous artists that feel comfortable with doing that have never met the sculpt artists in person. I guarantee you, if you met them in real life, you would not have the nerve to do what you're doing. You would not have the nerve, to do it. Shame on you. Shame on you. These are talented, wonderful people. Shame on you. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Your greed is not worth it. Not worth it, because you're hurting the community, and what you're showing everyone is that you have no regard for the quality of work that you're doing. You have no regard for sculpt artists. Never going to lead to success. Not. Those that go the wrong path by trying to cheat their way will not lead to success. I wanted to get to was that the reputation of an artist is so important. There are really good, talented people out there that don't have drama attached to them. You don't need to have drama. You don't need to have this negative thing come into your home. You don't need any of that, because there's just so many different talented artists. You can find another one out there. You don't need to have drama attached to hurting people. And do your research as far as where you're buying your sculpts from. Make sure it's a legitimate company and they stand by their kits, the quality of the kits, and they will make sure that you get what you pay for and you get accredited, you get legitimate COA, the real thing, the real thing. And if you could meet every single one of these sculpt artists, you would be amazed on just how great they are. I have some more in the crib that I wanted to do. This one came up to the front burner. It was on the way back burner, but something came up and just kind of irked me the wrong way, and I had to come out and say it because I can't stand it any longer. And when, you know, sometimes when things don't happen to you directly, you go, hey, you know, okay, that doesn't really matter, but it does matter. Everything that will eventually end up in your lap, and then you're going to have to deal with it. The Reborn Feel Good channel. Yep, we know that, right? Stay tuned for more in the crib because I have some goodies I've been working on and some more Reborns to share with you, of course. That's the fun side, right? I'm Yvonne. Thank you so much for stopping by. Yeah. I'm gonna get the spider on the wall. Let me go get the spider. It's been bugging me.